a very simple example. We are just taking a very simple example of making a cake before we start a session. Now, if someone comes to you, okay, anyone, your friend is having a cake shop, and your friend is coming to you and telling you that, hey, some customer is coming, so please gather the requirements on behalf of me. Like, the friend is having his cake shop, due to some reason he has to go out, so you're completely new, and he's coming and he's asking you to sit there and gather the requirements. So you're sitting at the counter, and suddenly a customer comes. So what type of questions will you ask to that customer? Did you understand the
Size,
question, or
Yes,
do you
yes.
want
Normally
size
to?
of a
it will
cake, shape of a cake,
Okay, okay.
Weight,
First
tell
flavor,
us
is
what he required.
size of the cake. Okay, then
shape,
yeah, shape. Okay,
flavor,
yeah,
quantity,
okay. Flavor, quantity, correct. And
pricing options,
yeah, pricing, very good point. Pricing and
Quality.
quality.
what will you ask about the quality question to the customer? मतलब will you
Ma'am,
ask कि आपको अच्छे क्वालिटी का चाहिए कि खराब क्वालिटी का?
no. Actually, do you prefer eggless cake or egg cake?
Okay,
Included egg cake, yeah.
okay, preference, right?
Yeah, preference.
Preference, okay. And preferences, correct? And do you think you'll ask some other questions? कि ठीक है इतना इतने इस पे can you think of more questions?
Occasions for the cake.
Perfect. Occasion. Hmm. And some more questions. Do you think कि इतने information से एक proper cake बन जाएगा?
Do you need any kind of name customizations?
Customization, perfect. Customization. Correct. Customization. Okay. So these are the questions you have asked to that individual. So I'm assuming you are the person at the counter. Now you got all the information. Now what is the next step that you will do? You gathered all the information कि ऐसा ऐसा केक बनाना है. What can be the next step for you?
grabbing the requirements.
You have gathered the requirements. Correct. Here, let's assume these are the requirements. Details. Requirements भी नहीं बोलते, इसको details बोलते हैं कि you've gathered the details. Now, what is the next step? After gathering these details, what are you going to do with these details?
To check whether We'll he has purchase things to make cake. of his requirements. Like
Okay, you will purchase your things according to this. ठीक है. Okay, next step is purchasing the things. Purchasing the things. Okay. Assume you're ready with everything. Then now what? Now you have to make a cake. Your customer is waiting. You have all the details. You have all the ingredients. Now what are you going to do?
We'll
Don't you
start
think?
making the
Yes, sorry.
we'll start making the cake.
You'll start making the cake. Correct. You'll start baking the cake. So either you can bake it or any chef can bake it. Correct?
Chef.
Someone, yeah, chef. So you gave all the requirements to the chef कि see this way ऐसा cake है, ये all requirements है. Kindly make a cake like this. Okay. So the chef जो है उनका कोई team रहेगा. They will make a cake for you. Okay. After that, what will happen? After the
Delivery,
cake.
ma'am.
हाँ, डिलीवरी से एक स्टेप पहले जाते हैं. Cake is ready. What will then happen before
We'll
delivery?
Payment process.
Sorry,
packing
Payment
the cake, ma'am.
packing the cake से भी पहले will you check it कि कस्टमर ने स्क्वायर बोला था तो ये स्क्वायर है कि नहीं? कस्टमर ने रेड कलर बोला था तो रेड कलर है या नहीं, विल यू हाई लेवल वैलिडेशन, आप विल यू डू इट?
Yeah.
ओके,
Yes.
तो देर आर टू टाइप ऑफ वैलिडेशंस. पहले तो एक टेस्ट वाइज होगा जो शेफ करेंगे, ओके, एंड देन देयर विल बी वन मोर वैलिडेशन रिलेटेड टू द फीचर्स. फीचर्स मतलब हाई लेवल वैलिडेशन जो आप खुद करोगे एट द काउंट. आई एम जस्ट कॉलिंग यू एबीसी गाय, ठीक है, एबीसी पर्सन. ओके, सो ये वैलिडेशन में आपने सिर्फ चेक किया कि ये जो रिक्वायरमेंट्स थी, जैसे साइज उन्होंने बोला था कि वट एवर, लाइक दे नीड 3 लेयर केक, तो यू आर जस्ट चेकिंग हाई लेवल पे कि 3 लेयर है या नहीं. उन्होंने दे हैव मेंशन कि दे नीड चॉकलेट फ्लेवर, तो यू आर जस्ट चेकिंग एट अ हाई लेवल, ठीक है. उसके बाद once this is done, then what happens? Once this is all done, उसके बाद then
Confirm with customer.
confirm with customer से पहले एक step, someone already told me this step.
Packaging.
And all.
Yes, packaging and delivery, ठीक है, इसको हम हाई लेवल पे लिखते हैं. ओके, डिलीवरी. नाउ मेकिंग अ केक, यहाँ पे आपने जो यूज किए हैं जो टेक्निक्स, दीज आर लाइक सम स्टेप बाय स्टेप प्रोसेस. अभी एक केक है तो दैट इज मैनेजेबल बाय 2-3 पर्सन. दैट इज वन गाय एट द काउंटर, वन शेफ, वन person who is testing, one is a delivery guy, simple. But अगर ये बहुत बड़ा प्रोजेक्ट है, like if it is like making a house or making a shopping mall, the steps will be same. Steps are going to be the same. Only the audience and this part is going to change. Similarly, IT industry में, whenever you're going to enter, you are going to work on some projects, not like making a cake, but a project like making a website like Amazon.com or any website or any application like WhatsApp or any other project. It can be any other project that you need to work on. So firstly, whenever you're working on any project, there will be some entry point. यहाँ पे जैसे था ना कि a guy at the counter. So that guy at the counter, यहाँ पे we can just say simple, we are referring that person की a guy at the counter. But IT industry में, the starting point who initiates the project is called as a business analyst, जिनका काम होता है स्पेशली रिक्वायरमेंट गैदर करना, बिजनेस एनालिस्ट. ओके, यहाँ पे सिमिलरली दिस गाय इज आस्किंग द क्वेश्चन. आईटी इंडस्ट्री में this person business analyst will ask all the questions related to the feature. अभी यहाँ पे it was related to the cake, यहाँ पे it will be related to your particular project. तो जैसे अगर आपका WhatsApp एक आपको chat application बनाना है, तो the questions will be like what are the features, like you need chatting, video calling, and what features can you think of WhatsApp?
Media.
Media
sharing.
sharing data and WhatsApp you must be
Location
using.
sharing.
Yeah, location sharing, status updates, profile creation, payment, status stated I've already written now. Yeah, encryption. Okay, so all these are the requirements that you need to gather. So after these are gathered, then यहाँ पे जैसे आपने सारा रिक्वायरमेंट गैदर किया, यू गेव इट टू द शेफ टू मेक अ केक. यहाँ पे आईटी इंडस्ट्री में यू नीड टू गिव इट टू द डेवलपर. देयर इज अ पर्सन who is going to develop these features, so that person is called as a developer. Okay, so then you will give it to the developer to create the application, and then after it is created, it goes to a person or a team that is called as QA team, or also called as testing team, who will test these applications. And then finally यहाँ पे जैसे पैकेजिंग एंड ऑल डिलीवर होता है, वैसे ही we have one more team, that is deployment, or we can call it as process, which is done by development team. Yes. Is there a disturbance from my end or?
आपकी आवाज बहुत फ्लक.
1 minute.
हेलो.
Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
Kumar.
it's audible.
Yes, ना
But is there a continuation?
हो रही है.
But your voice is cracking.
1 minute. 1 minute. Let me see. Let me see what's the problem. Is it better? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, okay. So yes, where were we? Yeah. So okay. So यहाँ पे we have this deployment team that is going to deploy it. So what happens now basically, ये जो starting है entry, this has to be done by a business analyst. अभी business analyst को sometimes they need to correlate or they have to coordinate with data analyst. अगर कोई नया फीचर बनाना है, जैसे suppose if they want to create a feature like sending personal recommendations on YouTube media. Suppose there is a feature or there is a new project sending personalized recommendation on YouTube. If suppose any company wants to launch this feature, तो सबसे पहले step है gathering information or we can say collecting requirements. That is done by business analysts. Okay, but second thing is that business analyst will need some sort of data. तो जैसे पर्सनल रिकमेंडेशंस आपको भेजने हैं यूट्यूब पे, तो business analyst only have to talk about this feature that we need to send personal recommendations on YouTube. But business analyst will need some data like who is surfing what is the time, what is the quality of the content. तो मतलब सिंपल इसमें क्या कर रहे हैं ना, suppose you are watching too much of educational videos, so we will just send you a personal recommendation कि based on your आपका मतलब एरिया ऑफ इंटरेस्ट एजुकेशन है, तो हम आपको एजुकेशनल वीडियोस आपके मतलब आपको सजेशंस देंगे. दैट इज अ फीचर. The business analyst gathered the requirement, but business analyst is going to need some data. अब डेटा ऐसा है कि सपोज यू आर अ पर्सन, आपको रिकमेंडेशन भेजना है, तो आप कौन से टाइम पे क्या ज्यादा देखते हो, क्या है आपका एरिया ऑफ इंटरेस्ट, आपका पूरा जो सर्फिंग हिस्ट्री का पैटर्न है, दैट दे नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड. दैट कैन बी अंडरस्टूड ओनली बाय डेटा. सो देन we will need a data analyst over here who can provide you with all sort of data, all sort of information. And then third step for creating this feature, abhi ye personal recommendation, it looks like more like AI feature. So we would also need a data scientist who can build algorithms and logics to create this feature. So the ultimate aim of telling you all this is this, that if you are a business analyst or a data analyst, whatever you are, you will be involved at the very starting of the project, where you will need to gather the requirements, you will need to talk to the people, you'll have to gather the requirements. तो उसका आपको अंडरस्टैंडिंग होना चाहिए. How do we need to gather the requirements? What are the various phases of the requirements? And all information related to the requirements. So in today's session, we are completely going to focus on this first stage of any project where we are gathering the requirements. So that is the session about requirement analysis. and it is required for all, like for business analyst, data analyst, both. Earlier in organizations, we had separate roles. Business analyst was separate, data analyst was separate. Okay. But abhi, because of the increasing competition, what they want is they want a person who is a business analyst. He should know data analyst, and a data analyst should know business analyst. मतलब business analyst का skill set क्या है? Requirement gathering, stakeholder management, prioritization, मतलब जो requirement है उनको prioritize करना, and there are other. Data analyst का है, you have to know SQL, you have to know maybe Python, and all other skills, all other data analytics skills, like Power BI hai, or whatever it is. So what I mean to say is, earlier it was good कि आपको सिर्फ you are called as a functional business analyst, and आपको ये सब techniques पता है. इनके भी अलग tools होते हैं, like Jira है, you should know Agile and everything. Okay. But abhi, the demand is that you are a data analyst, that is okay. But आपको requirement gather करते आना चाहिए. You have to know how to talk to the stakeholders, what are the type of requirements, and all sort of information related to the requirements. So that's why today's session is particularly going to focus on requirement analysis part. Any questions so far?
No.
And one more thing. Please ask questions. Please, let's keep this session interactive. You are a data analyst or a business analyst. That means you will need to talk to so many people on daily basis. So that's why communication is going to be the biggest strength of your profile. So that's why you will need clarification, you will need clarities. So that is the later part, but for now, अगर आपको कितना भी silly question हो, or it's very basic, or whatever is unclear to you, please feel free to ask it, so that I will be able to help you out with it. So the objective of today's session is studying requirement analysis. Now moving on, what is a requirement? So यहाँ पे you got the details. What do you think a requirement is?
Needs.
Needs, absolutely correct. Needs for what? Needs to achieve a objective. So requirement simple hai. Requirement can be anything can be requirement. You need a mobile phone, it's a requirement. You are studying something, that is a requirement. You are making some food, preparing a food, that is a requirement. You are creating a dashboard, that is a requirement. Anything can be a requirement. Only twist is that every requirement is tied to any objective. You are buying a phone, ये आपका need है. It has to be tied to a goal. So you are buying a phone. आपका goal क्या हो सकता है for buying a phone?
Checking features of phone.
Buying a phone का आपका major goal क्या हो सकता है?
Checking major features of mobile phone.
नहीं. Your major goal of buying a phone can be calling.
Requirement.
Calling.
Yeah.
Clicking good pictures.
Yeah, pictures. मतलब correct. These are your requirements. What can be your requirement for preparing good food? Some sort of your favorite dish. Preparing some food. What can be the goal for preparing this good food, your favorite food? Just to feel good or enlighten your mood. That can be your goal. You are updating your Windows. तो आपका अभी तक Windows 7 था. Now you're upgrading it to Windows 7 to Windows 10. What can be the goal of upgrading this?
Smoother experience.
Sorry?
Smoother experience.
Yes, experience. So everything, every requirement is tied to a particular objective. जब भी we are having a requirement, it will either solve a problem or it will achieve an objective. जैसे यहाँ पे we are buying a phone for calling and features. Now we are buying a latest version phone. So maybe इसमें तो आपका objective है simple. These are your objectives, but you're buying a latest version phone. Maybe your old phone is not working well. That's why you're buying a new phone. So that means it is somehow solving some sort of problem also. So requirements, basically, it is a capability needed by a user to solve a problem or achieve an objective. Long story short, what is a requirement? Requirement is nothing but a need of a user to achieve an objective. Objective can be anything. You have to solve a problem or upgrade or anything. Your objective, your goal can be anything. So what is a requirement? It is nothing but a need or of a user to achieve an objective. So in any project, everywhere, requirement gathering sessions are conducted. Whatever projects are there, if a company is working on 20 projects, so they are going to need 20 business analysts to do this requirement gathering process. Okay. So data analyst, business analyst, these days, these roles are too much in demand because अभी AI आ गया है, technology is advancing. That's why they need more amount of, actually there is more amount of data, which is leading to more amount of projects. And वो projects handle करने के लिए you are going to need a business analyst or a data analyst. So that's why these business analysts and data analysts should be skilled with managing the requirements, because ये entry point होता है project का. If you get this thing wrong, entire project is screwed up. अगर requirements ही आपने गलत select किया है, तो then entirely they will be like, you just cannot say anything then about the project. In addition to this, business analyst or a data analyst also needs to interact with many people. अभी यहाँ पे you can see, being at the counter guy, you had to interact with the chef, with the other chef, with the delivery guy. Business analyst also has to interact with developers, testers, stakeholders, everyone. So that's why they have to be very clear on what information they are gathering. Any questions so far?
So is it key business analyst and data analyst are almost same?
No. Business analyst, data analyst are skills wise, they are different. Like I mentioned, business analyst का काम है only to analyze. Analyze मतलब find out what. That is the job of business analyst. Just finding out कि क्या बनाना है. Data analyst is more like data. They will provide you with data. Business analyst is saying ये बनाना है, इसके लिए मुझे ये data चाहिए. Data analyst will provide that data. So these roles, yes.
ये प्रोजेक्ट का बजट भी डिसाइड करेगा क्या?
Yes, at the beginning only it's decided. So project manager and everyone is involved in deciding the budget of the project. Business analyst, data analyst are not involved in budgeting.
So that will be decided by the owners.
Yes, we call them project sponsor. So project sponsor term होता है, who will be giving you the budget. Budget या फिर who is going to fund you with the money and everything.
And what are the use of Jira and Agile?
Okay. When you're okay, ठीक है, ये जो requirements है, ठीक है, you have gathered all these requirements, ठीक है. Now you have to track these requirements. अभी Excel में I cannot track it, right? Excel में it's a very difficult thing to track it. I need to track it कि oh, I wrote chasing. It should be chatting. Sorry, not chasing, chatting. अभी there is a app feature chatting. मतलब हम chat window create कर रहे हैं. And suppose you are working on it. and there is a video calling feature, some other person is working on it. So I am a project manager. I need to track कि who is working on what, इसका progress क्या है, क्या completed है, क्या completed नहीं है. So to manage all these requirements, we have Jira, जिसमें you have a board in which you will clearly be able to see that these are 10 requirements. This and this person is working on this requirement. This requirement is in progress. This is completed. This is in progress, or this is with developers. This is with testing. So that clarity you get. So that is Jira is basically a project management tool to track the progress of what is going on in the requirements. Is it clear?
Yeah, thanks.
Yes. So then moving on, whenever you're gathering the requirements, okay, you have to be sure about what you're gathering. So there are various type of things that you need to check. So firstly, software requirements are description of features and functionalities of a target system. So requirement is nothing but a need to achieve an objective. Software requirements क्या होता है? Software requirements, it's all about features and functionalities. So let's take example of any software like LMS, Learning Management Portal, LMS, Learning Management System. तो उसमें जो features है, can you think what are the features of an LMS? Have you used LMS?
Not
No.
yet, ma'am.
Okay,
No.
let's not think about your LMS. Let's think about Gmail. Use Gmail, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are the functionalities and features of Gmail?
To send mail,
Sending mail,
Attachments.
receiving mails.
And
Send attachments.
yes, sending attachments. And I'm just writing.
Submit.
Your voice is breaking.
Sending to multiple people at same time.
Yes.
Exchange of queries.
Queries, yeah. So ये जो है, all of these are the features. When you're working on a project, when we call something as a project, you have to pick individual feature and work on it. Work on it matlab you have to gather the requirements. So now when you gather the requirements, what things you have to keep in mind? You have to know the type of the requirements. So these are the various type of requirements. That is, it can be hidden, it can be known, it can be expected, or it can be unexpected from a client's standpoint. So देखो, some requirements are there which are very clearly mentioned, very clearly, like यहाँ पे भी, if you see, making a cake में, you generally gathered some high level requirement and that's it. But whenever you're gathering requirement, it's not as easy as आप questions पूछ रहे हो and they are giving you the information and done. It's not as easy. Requirements, maybe you have to ask them certain questions. There will be some known requirements. यहाँ पे there is a categorization done. Okay, I've just done the categorization of requirements. So there are these are the various type of requirements. So there will be some known or unknown requirements which you need to gather. The known requirements क्या हो सकती है? Can anyone tell me? What do you understand by known requirement?
Common requirements.
Simple requirements. जैसे in this example that we saw, all these are called as known requirements. Okay, in this example. What can be an unknown requirement?
hidden requirements.
Sorry?
Hidden requirement.
Hidden and unknown is kind of different. Okay.
Any customization feature?
Yeah, additional customization feature. So जैसे there is a customization that they have already mentioned. तो customization is a known requirement. But customization के अंदर अगर उन्होंने बोला है कि for example they have told you simply कि I need a chocolate cake. So chocolate cake is a known requirement. But chocolate में भी there are so many other flavors. Dark forest, dark chocolate है और Belgium chocolate, dark chocolate, whatever. So you have to ask that question also. So asking that question is kind of a hidden requirement. कि मतलब आपने तो मतलब पूछ लिया कि आपको कौन से फ्लेवर का चॉकलेट चाहिए, दे मेंशनड यू, बट उसमें भी कैटेगराइजेशन होगा. सो दोज आर काइंड ऑफ hidden requirements. Hidden requirements are the requirements which you have to, आपको डिग करना है उनसे. दे आर नॉट गोइंग टू टेल यू, यू हैव टू कंटिन्यूसली आस्क देम. जैसे व्हाट्सएप में भी सपोज देर इज अ फीचर वीडियो कॉलिंग. तो वीडियो कॉलिंग में कितने कितने पिक्सल का इमेज हम और वीडियो क्वालिटी कैसी रहेगी, दैट टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चंस which you need to ask, that are kind of hidden requirements. You need a feature as chatting feature. Okay, perfect. But chatting feature में do you need emos, do you need additional fonts? आपको चैटिंग में और कोई फीचर्स चाहिए कि आप फॉन्ट का साइज चेंज कर सको? चैटिंग में आपको कैसे टाइप का चैटिंग का चाहिए, मतलब यू आर राइटिंग इट ऑटोमेटिकली पैराग्राफ्स बन जाए, और जैसे एक्सेल के कुछ एडवांस फीचर है कि बुलेट पॉइंट्स है एंड ऑल. सो ये जो फर्दर क्वेश्चंस है, these are kind of hidden requirements that you need to ask the questions to get the information. Okay, so known requirement, simple features that you get to know, those are known requirements. Unknown requirements are the ones which are not known. Again, hidden and unknown slightly different है. Hidden में you have to take efforts, you have to find out कि ऐसा भी हो सकता है, ये भी requirement हो सकती है. Unknown में it is simply not told to you. जैसे केक के एग्जाम्पल में they did not tell you that they have some allergies. उन्होंने मतलब critical thing है ये कि suppose you made a cake, you have added some nuts on the cake and just for the decoration, and when you're delivering it at that time they are saying कि हमको nut से allergy है. So this was some sort of unknown requirement which they did not tell, or which was not even like it just didn't came into the picture. तो ये भी questions आपको पहले से ही you have to ask them. So when you are gathering the requirements, you have to keep in mind कि you have to gather known, simple, hidden requirements, मतलब you have to ask counter questions on each of it. And then unknown के लिए again you have to take more efforts to ask additional questions which are not a part. जैसे you will never think कि we will ask a customer you have allergies about something, but once you get that experience, so then you can ask these respective questions. So remember, whenever you're gathering a requirement, you have to know about known requirements, unknown requirements, hidden requirements. Then there are some expected and unexpected requirements. So expected requirement is something कि ठीक है, मतलब expected requirement है कि summers है तो temperature बहुत मतलब it's going to be hot, so it's expected you have to take care of all of it. Or you can say expected requirement is that there is some festival going on, yeah, there is some festival going on, so there are going to be too many orders. This is going to be an expected requirement. With respect to these things, any website, amazon.com, जब सेल है तो बहुत सारा ट्रैफिक आने वाला है. whenever there is a big million sale or something, you're going to get more amount of number of users at that particular day. That is a expected requirement. Okay, these are expected instances. Now let's move on to what are unexpected requirements. With respect to a cake, suddenly you took an order, it's summer, and suddenly it started raining. So that can be an unexpected requirement. In case of any software project, this has actually happened. There was a project IRCTC, which was created by TCS. So what happened? Suddenly, the project went live, and they did not think कि इतने numbers of users will come to the platform and start booking the tickets online and all. So traffic all of sudden इतना बढ़ गया था कि the application crashed. So these are kind of some unexpected requirements कि you think कि अरे project तो अभी start हुआ है तो इतने users नहीं आएंगे, but all of sudden the number of traffic was like terrific and it got screwed up. So whenever you're gathering the requirements, you have to keep these things in your mind. There can be hidden requirements. There are going to be known requirements, unknown requirements, expected and unexpected. So hidden, unknown and known will give you the idea about details about your features and functionalities. Expected and unexpected, these are going to give you the information about the risks. कि projects में क्या risks हैं. So based on that, you need to ask the questions accordingly. Any questions so far? Okay.
Ma'am, the accepted risks and unaccepted risks, do we have to analyze that, or we have to ask that questions to the customer, ma'am?
You have to ask that. You have to analyze it. They are just going to tell you कि I need this way. You have to be at that side कि अरे इसमें तो ये भी problem हो सकता है. You are the one who will need to analyze. जैसे for example, if you got a project of WhatsApp, okay, and our client is saying that, hey, I want a 3-hour movie to be shared on WhatsApp. Okay. Now you as a business analyst, WhatsApp, suppose, yeah. You as a business analyst, you will have to find the challenges कि 3 hours movie अगर हम send कर रहे हैं तो उसमें क्या challenges, क्या risks हो सकती है. 3 hours movie मतलब too much of data.
Yes.
WhatsApp उतना data support नहीं करता तो application can get crashed. So these type of risks and everything you have to analyze. You have to tell that particular client कि see, WhatsApp जो है, it is not going to support a 3-hour movie. What we can do is we can break it in videos of 10 minutes, 15 minutes and send it in certain batches. So these type of things, you have to make those decisions.
So it means based on the requirements, we need to think which are the possibilities, which are the not possibilities. Based on that, we need to go further, right? You are saying?
Correct. But like यहाँ पे, let's come back to the example of the cake. If the customer is asking you एकदम कुछ तो भी out of the box order, the customer is telling you कि I want the cake something very different order, कुछ 5-6 flavors का mixture. They are saying that पहले fruit का रखना, उसके ऊपर cake का रखना, उसके ऊपर chocolate, उसके ऊपर some blueberry or something. तो you are just gathering the requirement. You don't know कि वो chef को ये बनाते आता है या नहीं. So what you'll do, you'll say कि रुको 5 minutes रुको, I will just check with my chef. You will check with the chef and give them the confirmation. IT में भी same होता है.
हाँ.
Business analyst asks the question. जितना business analyst is able to tackle, great. जब technical thing आ जाती है, तो technical things business analyst, if he's a functional business analyst, that person cannot tackle. So then they will ask the developers. You see, the client is saying कि उनको ऐसा ऐसा feature चाहिए. Client is saying कि उनको एक chatbot feature चाहिए. Is this technically possible? They will ask it to the developer. Developer will tell them the challenges. Developer will tell कि हाँ, it's possible. These are the conditions. Or it's not possible. These are the findings. Business analyst will then convey it to the stakeholder. And then उनका back and forth discussion होके they might come to one conclusion. So that's why business analyst is the role, or the analyst, data analyst. That person needs to interact with many people, developer, testers, stakeholders. So the decisions that business analyst takes, these are the joint decisions with the help of developer and testing team. Is your answer cleared or you have
Yes,
further?
yes, I understood, madam.
Yeah, okay. So long story short, to summarize, interviews they might just ask you, you have to add the skills. Okay. Whenever you have the knowledge, you will be adding this skill in your resume, requirement analysis. So the questions that can be asked to you, what according to you is a requirement? Please try to keep it simple. It is a need to achieve a goal. Simple. Then how do you gather the requirements? So you have to tell कि whenever I go for requirement gathering, I ensure that I have the information of all hidden, known, unknown, expected and unexpected requirements. How do you analyze it? By asking questions. Okay. So these were the bifurcation at a very small level. But there is a very different type of bifurcation. It is called as the standard bifurcation. And this is a very important interview question also. What are the various types of requirements? So there are three types of requirements, and these now we are moving completely into software. ये जो था अभी तक तो थोड़ा brainstorming था. We are entering into a core software project now. Now, what is the meaning of, or what are various type of requirements? In interviews also this is asked. What type of requirements you have worked on? So we have three type of requirements. One is functional requirement. Now, what do you mean by functional? Can anyone while guess functional मतलब क्या हो सकता है?
Technical side.
Is it working or not? We have to check up.
Yes. Can I call it functionality?
Yeah, ma'am.
Can I call it functionality? मतलब आपने जो बोला, is it working or not? Can I call it a behavior of that system? Correct?
Yeah.
So functional requirement is nothing but the functionality. Matlab the behavior of the system. Remember, whenever you can just think of any example, all the features, all the functionalities of how that particular thing is working is called as a functional requirement. Let's take example of Facebook. Can you tell me what are the functionalities of Facebook or features of Facebook?
Uploading pictures.
Again, yes, uploading pictures, and quickly, guys,
You
Texting.
can like, comment on pictures.
chatting,
Voice.
sharing data, correct? Managing advertisements, status updates, everything. All these are the features. So these tell you how the system is working. ये सबसे आपको पता चला कि it is a social media chatting application. What are the features of ICICI Bank mobile application? Are they same like Facebook ki different hai?
No, ma'am.
No, it's complete.
Mobile banking, credit cards.
Yes. Can I say sending money, receiving money?
Yeah.
Loan facility, recharge,
Which facility?
loan facility,
Yeah, loan facility and everything. Yes, correct.
trending account, include in the trending account,
And
and loan facility.
yes, loan facility. So all these are features. And doing the like transactions jo hai, sending the money from one place to another, transaction basically, all these are the features. So every application is going to have different type of features, different type of behavior. So functional requirements is nothing but it is called as behavior of the system from functional perspective. Examples भी इसमें दिए हैं. It could include user authentication. So Facebook का example लेते हैं. Facebook में whenever you need to log in, or ICICI mobile में everywhere, in each and every application, you need to authenticate. Can you randomly log in? No.
No.
You have
No.
some password or there is a OTP. or captcha, something sort of. So that is user authentication. So that is also a feature. ये एक kind of feature है. So then we have data processing. So data processing is basically whenever in any application consists of data. तो यूजर ऑथेंटिकेशन आपने किया, आपने आपका यूजर नेम पासवर्ड ऐड किया. वंस यू आर सबमिटिंग इट, द डेटा इज गेटिंग प्रोसेस्ड. बैकएंड में आपने जो डेटा एंटर किया वो मैच होगा. दे विल चेक इट इन द बैकएंड वेदर यू आर अ like a proper authorized customer or not, and then they will allow you to log in. So that is data processing. उसके बाद रिपोर्ट जनरेशन, दिस इज ऑल्सो अ फीचर. जैसे एवरी मंथ आईसीआईसीआई मोबाइल बैंकिंग में अगर आपने क्रेडिट कार्ड लिया है तो आपको एवरी मंथ आपका क्रेडिट कार्ड का बिल जनरेट होता है. व्हाट इज दैट? बेसिकली अ रिपोर्ट, राइट? सो ऑल दीज आर the features. Not just these but other also, like in the application transaction है, उसके बाद chatbot facility, if it is an e-commerce website, adding to the cart, viewing the products, product recommendations, all these are kind of features. So functional requirements, in the name only it is mentioned, functional requirement is about the functionality. Functionality matlab behavior of the system. So remember, in the example of the cake or whatever we saw, at the very high level जो हमने discuss किया था, those are going to be the functional requirements. matlab if you see this example, the example of a cake or this, यहाँ पे all these things, these are the functional requirements. So clear everyone on functional requirements?
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen, this is asked in interviews. Okay, what type of requirements have you worked in? So you need to tell, I have worked on functional requirements. How did you gather the information for functional requirements? So functional requirements are nothing but the features and functionalities. So you have to first identify what are the features and you ask the questions based on that. So that was functional requirements. Can we move on to the next part? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's move on to what are non-functional requirements. Now tell me, you wanted an application, आपको WhatsApp पर चाहिए था, or any application you wanted. Okay, leave application. You want to buy a mobile phone. That mobile phone is having out of the box features. मतलब बहुत अच्छे features हैं which are not available in the market. Superb features. Phone quality is amazing. Video quality is like very, very, very nice. But वो फोन ना सिक्योर्ड नहीं है. उसमें लॉगिन करते ही आपको मतलब आपकी इंफॉर्मेशन हैक हो सकती है और any other sort of issue है security related. But features are wonderful. So would you prefer buying that phone?
No.
Why?
While manufacturing only, its features already corrupted, ma'am. Hello.
Okay. But you know, it is containing wonderful features, like out of the box features. आपको photo, आपको you like
But security is a very important point in purchasing a mobile.
Okay. So matlab you would prefer buying a mobile with less features but more security, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So that answers the question of non-functional requirements. Non-functional requirement is nothing but it is the quality or the attribute of the system. Functional requirement features functionalities. Non-functional is about quality. Non-functional is about they are going to tell you how is the system performing. So for example, in this example, which one will we see? WhatsApp kind. Everything is good, but if the application is crashing again and again, or it is not secured, or you're facing any sort of problem with it, it's not reliable software. So then it means कि उसका quality अच्छा नहीं है. It's not a good quality software, and then you won't prefer it. So whenever you're gathering the requirements, you have to also gather non-functional requirements. अब non-functional requirements मतलब the requirements which you cannot see but have a very important role, like security. It can be security, it can be performance of the system, it can be scalability of the system, it can be sustainability. मतलब अगर आपने एक ये लिया, एक सॉफ्टवेयर लिया है, बट इट इज नॉट सपोर्टिंग द न्यू वर्जन ऑफ फोन्स. जैसे एवरी टाइम आपने आपने एक सॉफ्टवेयर लिया है और आप यू आर यूजिंग द एंड्रॉइड ओएस. जैसे जैसे एंड्रॉइड ओएस अपग्रेड हो रहा है, दैट सॉफ्टवेयर इज ओनली कंपैटिबल विथ वन वर्जन. सो इट इज नॉट ऑफ एनी यूज टू यू, राइट? बिकॉज आप जैसे जैसे फोन अपग्रेड कर रहे हो, आप यू आर नॉट एबल टू अपग्रेड दैट सॉफ्टवेयर. सो दैट मीन्स देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम विद द क्वालिटी. So non-functional requirements are called as quality attributes or constraints that specifies the quality and characteristics that a system must exhibit. So to sum it up, non-functional requirements of the requirements that talks about the quality of the software or the target system that you're going to create. These are the attributes like performance, security, usability, reliability, maintainability, etc. So whenever you're gathering the requirements, when you're done with all these, ये जो functional requirements थी, then you have to also work on gathering non-functional requirements. So non-functional requirements के लिए you will need help of developers or some tech experts. जैसे अगर सिक्योरिटी रिलेटेड है तो सिक्योरिटी टीम की आपको हेल्प लेनी पड़ेगी. परफॉर्मेंस रिलेटेड है तो परफॉर्मेंस रिलेटेड टीम की हेल्प लेनी पड़ेगी. बट यू जस्ट कैनॉट स्किप इट. So whenever you're gathering the requirements, first step is to gather functional requirements. Second step is to gather non-functional requirements. And non-functional requirements is all about this, the things that are highlighted over here. They have given the examples also. Examples like response time. Now, what is a response time? If I'm opening a Google page, I'm
Nava,
typing-
one question. Nava,
Yes.
one question.
Yes.
It means like the non-functional ability qualities are also as equally as important as the functional ones.
More than important. Like,
Okay.
yeah. Let's take an example. Functional is chatting and non-functional is security. What is important?
First is security.
Security, correct, security, exactly. So non-functional भी बहुत important है. Whenever you're creating a software, अगर वो secured ही नहीं है, तो no one is going to prefer using it. Or
Correct.
there is a thing called as performance, or we call as response time also. So there is a wonderful application, out of the box features है, बहुत ज़्यादा secured है. But आपने submit करने के बाद 5 minutes तक that thing is rolling and then after 5 minutes आपका एक पेज ओपन हो रहा है. उसके बाद you are filling the form again after 5 minutes second page is loading. That means it is too slow. Again, would you prefer working on this type of system?
No.
No.
So that means ये जो है, this is performance related issue. So that is also a non-functional requirement. Data encryption is security. User interface responsiveness. The example that I just discussed, कि you're not able to navigate smoothly. आपको एक पेज से दूसरे पेज पे जाने के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा टाइम लग रहा है. So all these are performance related things, quality of a system. So those are non-functional requirements. Okay. Any more questions over here?
वो क्वेश्चन कि ये जो फंक्शनल रिक्वायरमेंट है ये तो हम क्लाइंट से हम पूछते हैं, ठीक है, लाइक वी आस्क द क्लाइंट देयर रिक्वायरमेंट. तो ये जो नॉन फंक्शनल है ये भी हम पूछते हैं कि ये हमें देखना होता है.
You should know it कि आपको क्लाइंट आपको थोड़ी ना बोलेगा. मतलब सी अ क्लाइंट इज नेवर गोइंग टू टेल यू कि अरे देखो बहुत सिक्योर रहना चाहिए. They will not tell you. These are something that you should already know. कि जब आप सॉफ्टवेयर बना रहे हो, फंक्शनल फीचर्स तो ठीक है, बट ये आप यू हैव टू कीप दिस इन माइंड, एंड नॉन फंक्शनल आर जनरली यही सेट होता है कि
Okay.
हाँ, तो यू हैव टू कीप इन माइंड, क्लाइंट आपको स्पेसिफिकली और विल नॉट टेल कि देखो फीचर्स अच्छे बनाओ बट सिक्योर होना चाहिए एप्लीकेशन, दे आर नॉट गोइंग टू टेल यू. You have to make that provisions when the developer is writing the code. Developer has to make that provisions, and you have to tell that person कि आपको करना कैसे है. जैसे WhatsApp में सिक्योरिटी है, सिक्योर्ड है, that is okay, but client told you I need one more level of security by encrypting messages and everything. So these you should already know it, but you have to discuss it with the clients also. But specifically they won't tell you. Like आप जैसे इसमें आप पूछ सकते हो कि आपको फीचर्स क्या चाहिए, what do you need and all, and on the top of that you can ask the hidden requirements, unknown requirements and all sort of. नॉन फंक्शनल तो करना ही है, नो ऑप्शन नो एस्केप.
Okay.
Yeah. So remember these things: performance, security, usability, reliability, scalability, maintainability. These are the very common 99% times यही use होती है as non-functional requirements. And then you have to ask what, like इस पे आपको information gather करनी पड़ेगी. जैसे अगर banking application है तो आपको 3-4 level of security लगेगी. Trading application है, again 3-4 level of security. अगर suppose ई-कॉमर्स वेबसाइट है जिसमें बहुत ज्यादा यूजर्स लॉग इन करते हैं, जैसे Amazon है, फ्लिपकार्ट है, एंड ऑल सॉर्ट ऑफ थिंग्स, इसमें आपको परफॉर्मेंस, उसके बाद यूजर इंटरफेस पे आपको फोकस करना पड़ेगा. सो दोज आर डिपेंडेंट ऑन द प्रोजेक्ट्स ऑल्सो, बट दीज नेवर चेंज. दिस सेट इज गोइंग टू रिमेन द सेम. Okay. Moving on. Then we have these domain requirements. What do you mean by domain, anyone?
Website, ma'am.
Website, okay. Some more specific example.
Yes.
Which area prospects it will be?
Prospects, okay. Can you give me example of any domain?
Yahoo.com.
Okay. Okay.
Ma'am, for if an of hello,
Yes, I'm listening.
for any organization, we need to develop as per circumstances and as per requirements,
Mm-hmm.
like software.
Mm-hmm.
In software, we have several options, and for that we have to include more options, which we can work easily.
Right. You're partially correct about domain. Let me tell you कि बिजनेस एनालिस्ट, डेटा एनालिस्ट है ना, उनको एक बहुत बड़ा बेनिफिट है. योर रोल्स आर नॉट डोमेन स्पेसिफिक. मतलब डू यू अग्री सब इंडस्ट्री में इंटरनेट यूज हो रहा है? मेडिकल, नॉट जस्ट आईटी इंडस्ट्री, मेडिकल, इंश्योरेंस, बैंकिंग, मीडिया, everywhere internet is used, right? Whoever is using internet, they need their internal softwares. आप डॉक्टर के पास भी जाते हो तो आजकल डॉक्टर के पास एक सॉफ्टवेयर होता है उनके सिस्टम में, where they take patients का data. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yes. So that is nothing but a software. So softwares are used in all the industries. And यहाँ पे domain मतलब this industry, banking domain, financial domain, healthcare domain. If you surf some job interviews and everything, JDs, job descriptions आप search करोगे, you will find company is a financial company. That or company can be a banking company like HDFC, ICICI Bank. A company can be pharmaceutical company. It can be any sort of company. It can be a social media platform like WhatsApp, Instagram, Twitter. It can be e-commerce website like Amazon.com and all. So domain matlab, it is nothing but we can say the environment in which the software is going to be created. जैसे बैंकिंग में अगर आपने कोई सॉफ्टवेयर क्रिएट किया है तो आपको बैंकिंग डोमेन के रूल्स उसको अप्लाई करने पड़ेंगे. Sorry. If you're creating a software for social media,